Here is the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL in Santorini white over gray on gray. The little Defender has come back from the refresh last year, increasing clearance, increasing towing capabilities with a standard turbocharged engine. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over some pros and cons and the comparable rivals throughout the review and show you why this is the sweet spot in third row SUVs. Starting in the front, all trims receive standard LED H-styled daytime runnings with LED headlights. It integrates into the top portion of the grille. Hyundai badging with the satin aluminum can change it to black once you go up into the calligraphy. The lower portion is going to have the active grille shutter, and you get a larger H with front parking sensors. A 360-degree reverse camera starts on the limited trim. 7 inches of clearance, 8.3 inches of clearance on the XRT, and it's going to be a little bit more rugged. You'll have a unique fascia for the XRT as well as the calligraphy, and all trims have increased horsepower and torque from the prior gen because we have a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that's producing 277 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed dual wet clutch automatic transmission. Front-wheel drive configuration, 20 mpgs for the city, 29 mpgs for the highway. The SE and SEL, they're going to get the 18-inch wheels. The XRT gets a unique 18-inch wheel as well as around the fenders in the lower skirt and a handle that's hidden so you can climb onto the back wheel onto these raised roof rails that you can fit 240 pounds on top of here. You also receive that in the calligraphy. Going into the limited, you get a 20-inch wheel. The calligraphy, a 21-inch unique wheel. Gloss black elements are going to surround the fascia, the fenders, the lower skirt, same as this little Santa Fe badging with the fake air vent that basically looks like a little Defender. I think the styling is just awesome what they've done with the Santa Fe. A con right off the bat has to be with the refresh, they increased the price around $5 grand. Now you're at Palisade money for a base tier, and that's one of the most luxurious performing vehicles in its class. Especially if you go to the new Calligraphy Night. I have a review on it, you can check it out. Awesome vehicle, under 60 grand. It has more features than higher end luxury cars. In this tier for the SEL, it's going to receive the integrated LED turn signals. The limited and the calligraphy will get the side view mirrors that are power folding, as well as a camera. And that camera is not only for the 360-degree reverse camera, but it's also for the blind spot view monitoring, which means when you use your indicators, either left or right, whichever one you go to, it's going to show what's on that side. So you not only have blind spot, but you have that as well. Really cool feature, as well as Smart Park Assist for the limited and calligraphy trim, making the sweet spot truly the limited and kind of the XRT, because you're going to have that towing capabilities and the style elements. All trims receive the H-style LED taillights, and we already have the tow package here for the 3,500 pounds of towing with the single exhaust outlet, satin aluminum for the Santa Fe print, as well as the flat badging. The rear windshield wiper, it's tucked underneath the lower roof spoiler, so it makes it look a lot more luxurious and kind of classy. I'm not a huge fan of the rear. This is also a con to me. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And the limited and calligraphy get the digital rear view mirror, which basically shows you up to around 170-degree view. Now, when we're talking competition, like Honda and Toyota, this is between two different models. So it's between a CR-V and a Pilot. Now, obviously, the Pilot can tow 500 pounds more than the XRT. However, this is going to be significantly less in price, and you're going to have all the amenities when you go into the calligraphy, and you're saving at least 10 grand. If you go into the CR-V, there's no third row. There's no need to even talk about towing capabilities. It's going to have some decent cargo, but this is going to outclass that as well. And as for Toyota, it's between the RAV4 and the Highlander. The RAV4 is 2-row. The Highlander, it's 3-row. It's a little bit longer. That's why this is a unique vehicle, which is a pro, because you're getting savings on any tier that you compete against with. And if you're not so happy with that dual wet clutch automatic transmission, they offer a hybrid. You're going to decrease the towing capabilities, but then you're not going to have to worry about the transmission. Standard power liftgate going into 14.6 cubic feet, and the whole back opens up, so it makes it a lot more easy from side to side to put any groceries or anything, and also the way the lip goes inward. Underneath the floor is going to have some storage, as well as a 12 volt right here. Bag holders and a spare tire is going to be tucked underneath. And you can split fold the third row bench by pulling the levers. That's going to increase cargo to 40.5 cubic feet, which is an increase of 4.1 over the prior gen. Split fold the second row, 79.6 cubic feet. That's giving us 7.5 cubic feet more storage than the prior gen. 12-way power seat adjustment starts on this trim with the H-Tech seats that start on this trim. The SE will be a cloth seat, manual seat adjustment. Heated seats start on the SEL. The XRT will get a black H-Tech seat. The Limited will get the leather, and the Calligraphy will get the premium leather inserts, as well as the Ergo Motion memory for the driver. Ventilated seats will start on the Limited trim. The Santa Fe always had sufficient headroom. Same thing with legroom. It's longer, it's wider. The passenger side starts off with a glove box on the top and another glove box, and you'll have storage in between. Now this glove box on the Limited in the Calligraphy will be a UVC sanitizer, so it will kill germs. The dash is going to be flat. Heads-up display is only on the Calligraphy. Speakers through Bose start on the Limited trim, as well as a digital rear view mirror in the dual pane moonroofs. A regular moonroof just for the front will start on the XRT. It's driver focus with a 12.3 information display. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. When you click onto setup, you can change the configuration to the screen layout. So when you click onto that, you can go into this gauge cluster and you can change out the theme layout. Now this is a 4.2 informational display that comes standard all the way up into the Limited trim, which you'll get the 12.3, which when you use your indicators like this, you'll see the camera illuminate here from whichever side that you're using your indicator for your blind spot. The steering wheel is 3-spoke multi-function with the paddle shifts. The gear lever is now attached to the steering column, and it is a manual telescoping steering wheel. Put it into reverse and you'll get a reverse camera standard. Click onto this sub menu and you can change out the layout so you can see for the tow, and you can see a more wide angle layout. 360-degree reverse camera starts on the Limited trim. Touchpad for the dual climate control, which is standard on all trims, and you still have physical buttons, so I do like that because everything isn't so derived through the touch screen. If you want navigation, you have to go into the XRT. Wireless charging pad starts on the SEL. The second wireless charging pad will be on the Calligraphy only. The key fob for the Santa Fe. A total of 4 USB ports are going to be found throughout. It's going to be soft to touch. It opens up into a pretty deep storage pocket. You can lift this panel up and it'll go pretty much underneath the cup holders nearly. You have a full pass-through with a 12-volt charger. And the door panel and the dash configuration, I like the way it's set up. You have this Land Rover Defender style, and yet it still has a touch of a luxury class. Soft to touch, one touch up and down for the front windows with a medium-sized storage pocket and a beverage holder carved out. LED interior lights start on the SEL. For the second row headroom, not an issue. Leg space, the same thing with storage behind both of the front seats. You'll have areas here to hang up some clothes, USB ports on both sides with a storage bin, and like we were showing in the front, this opens up from the back to the front. Heated rear seats start on the Limited trim. Home plug will start on the XRT trim. Armrests with cup holders. The door will have sunshades in the Limited trim. Air vents on the side with the H-style design. I like the aluminum that comes in. Total of 3 cup holders, and it's soft to touch where it needs to be. Sliding into the center, I have my own feet space. Leg space, butt and shoulder space, it's actually not that bad either. Headroom, it's optimal for somebody that's 6'3". Enter to the third row, push the button on the second row, slide it forward. That's the space that you have to enter 2 more with cup holders on both sides. You have the rear air control to turn the fan on and off, or the speed. USB ports will be on the Limited trim. Headroom is actually pretty good. Slide this back, leg room, If it's midway, I'm gonna have plenty of room. But if it's all the way back, it's gonna be tight. The Santa Fe is insane for this generation because it's standard 2.5 liter turbocharged 4. The reason why I say that is you're getting 277 horsepower. Last year, we only received 191 horsepower with 181 pound-feet of torque. That's an increase of 130 pound-feet of torque with 311 pound-feet is crazy for a vehicle that's around 4,500 pounds. And look what it can do. Not only does it have power, it has an engagement or a fun to drive spirit because of the dual wet clutch automatic transmission, which people do complain about, but the engagement to it makes it a little bit more quick than a traditional 8-speed automatic transmission because you're getting faster shifts, especially if you need it to downshift if you're on a pinch trying to get in and out of traffic, which Toyota, Honda, they don't do that. Plus, the vehicles that it competes against, whether you go CR-V or RAV4, or Highlander or Pilot, none of them will have the same shift pattern to get you to speeds quick and savings. Because if you go to the smaller variants of Honda and Toyota, here it's going to be more luxury inside, more seating inside, more features for the actual all-round price. Then you go up the tier to the Pilot and the Highlander, now it's a lot more money. Yeah, you're gonna get a little bit more towing capabilities, but this is still going to be more fun. The steering has some weight to it. Visibility is good because you got 7 inches of clearance. The comfort is nice. The seat is cushiony. 18-inch wheels. You don't hear that much of the road filtering in. When you go into the XRT with the 18-inch all-terrain tires, it's not really changing the ball game that much. Going to the 20 and 21-inch wheel, you'll hear a lot more of the road noise come in and some of the imperfections. So if you are considering, well, maybe it's too large of a tire, go to the SEL or the XRT. Braking on the vehicle feels light. And that's another pro for me, is whether you're mashing on the gas or the brake, it doesn't feel heavy. Turn radius at a stop point, about 2 lanes, let's rock and roll. Hyundai is just doing some crazy stuff when it comes to performance and the styling, plus all the features that you're getting. That, like I was saying on the outside, the major problem is the increase of price puts you in Palisade money, which is a naturally aspirated V6 and an 8-speed automatic transmission. Yes, you're going to get less MPGs in some cases, but you're going to get more towing capabilities. It's a little bit longer, so cargo and leg space for the third row can be better. And depending on the trim that you option, it can be very luxurious, but it does start going into near $60,000 pricing, which this is just under 40 grand. So you can see the savings that you're getting if you're wanting a third row vehicle. But then it's kind of confusing because they're giving themselves competition because the Palisade is unique in itself. But then you put this vehicle, making it longer and wider, it's actually usable for a third row. Cargo doesn't necessarily work out that well because it is smaller when you're using the third row. However, you can still fold down 2 of the seats. You'll lose 2 seat capabilities, but then you can fit nearly 80 cubic feet of storage in the cabin. Plus 240 pounds on the roof rails. There's a lot of pros. On the cons, you really have to start spending around 50 grand or more to get the Santa Fe the way it should be, meaning leather seats, full gauge cluster, heads-up display, Bose sound system, digital rear view mirror. I mean, the list goes on. When you're in the SEL, it's better than the SE because the SE is really just to say, you know what, we have an inexpensive vehicle because they don't even give you the H-Tech seats. So the SEL is really should be the base trim. The XRT should be kind of that upgrade, which it is, but the Limited and the calligraphy is really the sweet spot for this vehicle because it unlocks all of the features. So whether you're thinking about the competition or you're thinking Santa Fe, I mean, I hate to say it, this is the better bargain. Plus, you're getting the best warranty, 5 years, 60,000 miles. So when people are complaining about Hyundai, oh, what about the longevity? What about this? What about that? I mean, for the pricing of what you're getting and that warranty, I wouldn't be concerned. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Edel Hyundai of Lakewood for giving us this 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL for our car review.